Привіт, брати та сестри, підписники та гості мого каналу. У мікрофона Торстейн, і це продовження гри Зовнішні Світи. Так, наразі нам доведеться зробити такий важкий моральний вибір. Ми звільнили електростанцію і треба перенаправити енергію або до цього поселення дезертирів, або на Edgewater. В принципі, ці дезертири теж непогані такі чувачки. Але я вважаю, що більш правильним вибором буде використати енергію геотермальної електростанції на користь Edgewater. Все ж таки це невеличке поселення, а то велике місто, відносно велике. Тому давайте так, мабуть, і зробимо. Це у нас лишилось лише 2 квеста. Я думаю, це буде вірним рішенням. Доки я мандрував, вже день настав. Так. А, він ще й тут близько навіть. Та я знаю, подруга. У мене немає більше квестів.
Excuse me, ma'am. Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do?
Ну да. Я не проти вислухати тебе, твою думку.
I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished.
Ну да, я з тобою згоден. Да. Рід сказав мені, що без працівників і електрики Edgewater загине.
That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way.
Ну, блін, так я ж можу зараз знеструмити дезертирів, перевести електрику на Edgewater, а потім побазарити з тою бабусею та, думаю, переконати її і її общину, спільноту перейти в місто. Я думаю, якось так. Блін, немає вже варіантів. Ладно, бачу, до чого ти клониш. Гадаю, я готова прийняти рішення.
Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
Угу. Я рада, що ти не промовчала. Мені подобається тебе слухати.
Really? I mean, wow.
Вау.
No one's ever told me those words in that order.
Да ладно. Ну що, Робокоп? Давай, момент істини. Перерозподілити потужність. Продовжити. Та блін, ефективність 22%. Що ж вона там дасть? Один. Пішла жара. Ага. Угу. Все.
I think you did the rightest thing you could sending the power back to Edgewater. A lot of people would have suffered otherwise. People I care for. Even if they don't care much for me.
Угу. Схоже, Томас восхищається тобою.
He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda.
Та цей хлопець в тебе втюрився.
I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst.
Ти часто говориш про свого батька, але ще жодного разу не згадувала про мати.
That's on account of how I never met her.
Як таке можливо?
She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
Це нормально.
Well, I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
Добре. Так, ну все. Свій вибір я зробив. Що там мені лишилось? Ага, забирати генератор. Регулятор, точніше. А тут все, да? Труба. Все, пішли до дезертирів. А, блін. Треба вийти. Так. Зараз будуть сваритись на мене. Ну, що зробиш? Зараз буду їх переконувати. О, Зої.
How do you expect me to enjoy the adventures of the masked marketeer with no power?
Да, прям як нещодавно у нас в країні. А, вже чуваки стоять, блін. Грейс Ромеро.
I don't know what you did to talk some sense into Zoe, but I appreciate it.
Нема за що.
Don't see why Thomas can't just get the generator up and running. Something I can help you with? Nothing. With the power gone, we've got to conserve our supplies.
Бувай. Не працює його торговий апарат, бо немає електрики.
Everybody keeps staring at me. It's not my fault the power's dead.
Да. Ну, а де? Ця подруга там лазить. Запечатано. А як мені туди вилізти тепер? Ага. Де ти, бабуля? Не зрозумів. Щось нема бабулі. Де вона, блін? Що, я щось не так зробив? Ніхера не врубаюсь. Ага. Біля генератора сидить.
That's the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail. Elsewise, I would have seen you for the snake that you are, chopped you into pieces and roasted you on a spit. This is all you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my food will spoil, and my flock will starve. I want to ask you this in private, away from the eyes of my flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me.
Зараз буде оправдуватись. Ріду потрібні люди.
You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine. Go and talk to them. Go talk to Grace and Thomas. Look them in the eye and tell them their life here is over, and the only thing left to do is go back to Edgewater. This is now your
То це ще не все
ability.
втрачено,
Tell Reed
виходить.
Thompson that I will never return to Edgewater. I would rather die among my flowers than live under his management.
Ого. Що з вами трапилося, Делаїда? Не просто ж так у вас стільки ненависті.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left.
Ну да.
That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
Ну, тут вибір очевидний. Я готовий розібратись з Рідом заради вас.
You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can.
Ага.
He and I are not sharing the same four walls together.
Ага. Просто так Рід свій пост не покине. Переконати його буде важко.
Tell Reed that I can make his people healthy again. I can end their plague. Start a new garden right in the cannery. 3 square meals for every man and woman in Edgewater. Tell him how I've made the Vale bloom again. The soil has whispered its secrets to me, and I alone know how to breathe life back into the earth. The secret is human corpses.
Фу.
I've been grinding them up in my fertilizer for years. Marauder,
Жесть.
worker, don't matter much to me. The human body is rich with nutrients.
Яка мерзость. Що буде, коли трупи закінчаться?
Edgewater's cemetery's got corpses aplenty. Enough for a generation's worth of crops.
Ну, в принципі, да. Так, я ще ж не договорив. Де ти там?
Look at that. The snake's come back.
Собака не хоче більше. Все, забрав генератор. Ну да, все запечатано, бо немає електрики. Логічно. Так, ну що, давай побазаримо.
Sorry. I'm just trying to figure out what to do, is all.
Ви не проживете без електрики. Час повертатись в Edgewater.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again.
Ну так не працюй на заводі. Ти ж хотів стати інженером.
You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater and I'm as good as dead to her.
Чому?
Adelaide hates Edgewater, hates everything Edgewater stands for, hates what that town does to people, what it did to her. We're the nearest she's got to kin. We go back to Edgewater, we may as well have stuck a knife in her heart.
Добре, пожди поки що тут. Я спробую переконати Ріда залишити свій пост.
You know where to find me.
Бувай. Так. Що з тобою?
Marauders can't see us in the dark. Wild canids, on the other hand.
Тут вам більше немає чого робити. Час повертатись в Edgewater.
The matter's been weighing on me. Zoe came back, but I couldn't keep her from slipping out in the first place. Who's to say I could keep marauders from slipping in? I don't see us lasting more than a couple of weeks out here. I'm loath to admit it. We're gonna have to make our peace with Thompson and hope he takes us back. Listen, we go back to Reed, hat in hand, begging for our old jobs back. Well, Adelaide's not gonna forgive us. She never talked to us again.
Томас сказав те саме.
Edgewater's not just a town to Adelaide. It's a symbol of everything that's wrong with this colony. A big, heartless machine of metal and gears grinding workers down to dust. We're the closest thing Adelaide's got to a family. We go back to Edgewater, she's gonna feel betrayed.
Угу. Наразі краще нічого не предприймати. Я спробую переконати Ріда залишити свій пост.
Sure, suit yourself. I'll be here.
Добре. Побазарив я з твоїми людьми.
Look at that. The snake's come back.
А, не хоче вона. Треба до Ріда йти, значить. Приберіть Ріда з Edgewater. Блін. Давай спробуємо. Не знаю, що з цього вийде. Замутили кашу. Де той рід?
Cannery's been running at full capacity all day.
Must be all that extra.
Бляха, не з того боку.
Just keep working.
Алло. А, ну да. Ніхера собі 1000 патронів. Можна, блін, чергами шмаляти. Ключ ріда. Хто ж мені його дасть?
Don't make me report you to Mr. Thompson.
Heard you've been taking down marauders.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts?
Я передала ваше послання, але мені не вдалося переконати Аделаїду повернутись.
I expected as much. I've been thinking about it. I could use Adelaide back, but if she's being obstinate, try to talk her followers into returning. We need the extra hands.
Я хочу поговорити з вами.
Go ahead.
Ви давно цікавились, що коїться у вашому місті?
It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
Як давно ви тут працюєте?
I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
Чи ви вірні просто космосу?
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed.
Чувак зазомбований.
Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude.
Ваше місто розвалюється на часті.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
Ви зі мною не згодні?
Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
Спитаю ще дещо.
Go ahead.
Нам треба поговорити про епідемію.
Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up.
Як давно люди хворіють?
That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent.
Ух ти. Після тривалого контакту з одним і тим самим штамом ви мали бути більш імунні. Ну да, як ми до ковіду.
Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude. And it is one we will see through to the end.
Ви надаєте своїм працівникам ліків.
If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose.
Ви дозволили сину Аделаїди померти.
Adelaide's son was barely competent. I treat him with our medical rations, and it looks like I'm playing favorites. Now, I will not pretend to understand the suffering Adelaide must have felt on account of losing her child, but she is not the only one to have felt such suffering. I wish she had stayed with us. Adelaide left us when we needed her most. Go ahead.
Ви прямо такі одержимі бажанням повернути Аделаїду.
Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible.
Ви що, одним кетунцем харчуєтесь?
Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by. What with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world.
Хвилиночку. Так що ви тут консервуєте?
Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prisoners.
Обдурює людей, блін.
Go ahead.
Чому ви думаєте, що я зможу переконати дезертирів повернутися?
That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town.
Люди не зобов'язані все життя проводити на одному місці. Інколи вони йдуть далі.
Scripture tells us we all have our purpose in the world. Our work shows us that purpose. We should not have to move on from it. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on.
Ви з Аделаїдою були добре знайомі?
Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored Saltuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may...
Не звинувачуйте себе.
I must. The burden of leadership is responsibility. If my workers walked out on Edgewater, then I have failed them. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on.
Блін. Що, ніфіга мені не скажуть, що?
Go ahead. Can...
Як його вмовити?
I appreciate...
Во. Я поговорила з Аделаїдою, вона не повернеться, доки ви тут.
Then we are at an impasse. Stewardship over this town has been entrusted to me by Spacer's Choice. I am not perfect. I have made my share of mistakes. but I have done my best for this town.
Можливо, цьому місту потрібно змінити керівництво.
I'm a spacer's choice man. My father was a spacer's choice man. Edgewater may not look like much to some buttoned-up freelancer, but it is my home.
Хвороба обходить людей Аделаїди боком.
I don't believe you. Plague's a reality of life. Best treatment is a good work ethic.
Мешканці міста харчуються лише кетунцем. Нічого дивного, що ви хворієте.
You are disparaging our parent company, and it is not appreciated.
Блін, щас ще й...
We are a Spacer's Choice Saltuna cannery. We eat saltuna here, and only saltuna.
Ще й нападе, блін. Можу поспорити, ви хворієте із-за того, що їсте. Вам потрібен сад Аделаїди.
I don't understand. You say Adelaide's growing her own food, but that should not be possible. The soil's gone sour. Company said as much. Our own botanists couldn't grow decent crops for us, so the company got rid of them and shut down the greenhouse.
О, Аделаїда знайшла спосіб вирощувати харчові культури. Вона повернеться, якщо ви погодитесь піти.
You will excuse me for being skeptical. How exactly is Adelaide growing crops in barren soil?
Ой, чувак, я тобі це не скажу. Збрешемо йому. Слухай, Рід, я знаю лише те, що тут замішана дуже складна математика і що воно працює.
If Adelaide's found a way to feed her people and cure the plague, then she deserves this office more than I do. I won't stand in her way. My life here is ended. Give me a little time to settle my affairs. I'm sure Adelaide will be glad to see the back of me.
Угу. Що плануєте робити далі?
A couple months ago, I might have put in for a transfer. It's a big colony. Spacer's Choice has other towns. Now, I couldn't show my face in any of them.
Чому?
No such thing as an honorable resignation. Suppose I could find a place outside the walls, or put in for early retirement.
За міськими стінами ви дня не протримаєтесь.
I don't know. I could see myself lasting a week.
Ви не зобов'язані це робити.
I do. Adelaide's found a cure for the plague, and she knows how to tend to crop. She's what this town needs.
Вам має бути нелегко.
I have always tried to do right by my town. It has never been easy.
Бувай, чувак. Вибачай. Вибачай, чувак. Блін, як це залізти до них сюди, а? Ай, дідько. Якби був якийсь камуфляж. А він мені ключа не дасть.
I already told you I'm leaving. Just give me a little...
Та ладно. Я ж не проти. Зараз обрадую чуваків.
Sorry. I'm...
Look at that.
Крупна мати змія стара, блін. Я умовила Ріда піти. Повертайтесь в Edgewater.
I never thought I'd see the day that Reed Thompson abandoned his post. Suppose we all have a breaking point. Suppose it's time our flock made our way back to Edgewater. We must tend to what remains of the town and carry on with our lives as best we may. You're vexing to me, you know? Injuring us with one hand, helping us with the other. Here, I'm giving you something to leave us be. It's a ransom, you understand, not a reward.
Откуп. Годинник Аделаїди. І що з нього? Може його якось надіти можна? Час бачити. Якщо ви будете керувати Edgewater'ом, місту стане набагато краще.
You're telling me you did all this just to put me in charge of Edgewater? Stranger, you are some kind of twisted. I might turn that old cannery into a garden. Got ourselves a whole cemetery bursting with bodies. I need some time to gather my personals. Long walk back to Edgewater. Got a considerable burden to carry.
Бувай. Все. Справу зроблено.
I know, I'm trying to think. I know, I'm trying to think.
Ну.
One of us want to go see what happened?
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with?
Все, тут все зрозуміло. Все, повертаємось на корабель. Всі квести виконані. Хе-хе-хе. Пройшов главу. Чи як воно тут іде? Блін, постійно ніч. Що ж за херня така, блін? Не люблю у іграх по ночам бігати. Ніхіра не видно, блін. То що таке? Ладно, валимо звідси.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome! Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship. Working on a real engine. Belonging to
Да, подруга, ти тепер зі мною будеш.
I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
Розумію, чому ти не хочеш повертатись. Ти не була щаслива в Edgewater'і.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you?
Та, звичайно, можна.
I can tend
Нужно.
to your engine. I know my G-valves from my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
З радістю візьму тебе в команду. Можеш обирати собі каюту.
Yes! I mean,
Yes!
you won't regret this, ma'am. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Ай, ти кептен! Давай, іди. Ну,
That
чого
was a good thing
стоїш?
you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that.
Мабуть, що горжусь. Ну, я думаю, все вийшло круто.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Почекай.
by verity, by strength. What are we contemplating today?
Якісь у нього очі стрьомні. Як в цих в анімешних мультиках, блін, із сльозами, блін. Хочу спитати тебе на рахунок книги. Вона має відношення до твоєї релігії?
Bocconu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony.
А хто це софіст?
Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the philosophist perversion of Bocconu's thoughts came more than a century after his death.
Є ідея, як знайти у колонії людину, яка знає французьку.
I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosophist scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bocconu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
Вдала думка, але як ми його знайдемо?
That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
І як маніфест екіпажа допоможе нам вислідити твого вченого?
I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the philosophist's off-world destination.
Як так сталося, що простий вікарій виявився вмілим хакером?
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
Чудово. Тоді вперед.
Thank you, Captain.
Нема за що. Так, тут я вже все облутав.
Where are we headed?
Так. Що, ще каюта закрита, да? Да, ще все закрито. А, ну да, я ж напругу не подав. Зараз зробимо. Зачекаємо. Що, я більше нікуди не пройду навіть тут, да? Походу. Ну, давай тоді.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community.
Така класна ця штучка на цій гвинтівці. Крутиться цей приціл. Ні, це не приціл. Типа заряд плазмовий. Електростатичний.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Регулятор потужності в мене.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Так, можеш на мене положитись.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you. Across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
I'll be back. Так, вікарій, чого тут торчите, блін? Діть десь сядьте, блін. Зараз полетимо кудись. О, тут ще третій поверх є. Я тут був чи не був? А, тю, блін, да. Де ця холєра? Ага, точно. Прикольно. Прикольна шняга. Все, походу, зараз мали відкритись каюти. Зараз подивимось. Відкрились вони чи ні. Ой. Я тупанув, не на ту драбину виліз. Ніхера, блін. А що, це їх ця ада має відкрити? Що? Може і так.
What can I do for you, Captain?
Я встановила регулятор потужності.
All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Давай. Летимо звідси. Ха, момент істини. Здорова хрень, блін. Прикольно.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Ага. Фінес проснувся.
Aha, there you are, hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain, horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
Іноді трохи кружиться голова. Ще я навчилась повільнювати час.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Culkelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Ніхера собі. Так. Пригальмуй. Ти просиш мене зв'язатись з чорним ринком?
Gladys and I have been doing business for years. Her smuggling credentials are unimpeachable. If anyone can get you a key to Monarch, it's her.
Угу. Навіщо мені потрібен наві-ключ для посадки на планету?
Strictly speaking, Monarch is a moon, terraformed badly, and almost completely lawless. You'll love it. Captains don't fly their own ships, you see. Your navigation terminal handles the, navigation. Think of a nav key as a set of flight instructions. The board's been confiscating nav keys for Stellar Bay, so we must rely on unconventional means of acquisition. Hence, Miss Gladys Kelly.
Угу. А чи не можу я зробити посадку за межами Stellar Bay?
In theory, I suppose you could land your ship in Cascadia, and in theory, I suppose you might survive the experience. Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures, more than capable of tearing you limb from limb. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient signs of insanity. Trust me, talk to Gladys Kelly.
Що заважає мені просто покинути Альціон?
Without a skip drive, good luck. You'll be dead before you make it to the nearest star. Look, I admire your optimism, but the sad truth is you're stuck here. You, me, and the rest of this colony. We're all skating precariously around the edge of oblivion together. None of us are leaving Halcyon alive, so we may as well make it a better place, and we can start by reviving the hope.
Ну да. Добро, тоді я поговорю з цією Гледіс.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design, cutting-edge technology years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
Це то, що я хотів. Голографічний плащ. Мабуть, то, що хотів. Поясни, що таке голографічний плащ.
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance
навіть
to
так,
mimic
ніхера
that of
собі.
another. It has limits. First generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
На нього ще треба удостовірення. Ти сказав, що в цієї штуковини є якісь обмеження.
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Да, не так все добре, як я думав. Навіщо мені взагалі ця штуковина? Чому просто не викрасти уніформу?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise?
Ну да.
The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
Як взагалі голограма може освіжати дихання, подих?
Science, that's how.
І люди ведуться на щось подібне, щось не віриться.
The beauty is they don't expect it. The shroud is the only one of its kind. We humans have a tendency to overlook the unexpected. Activate the disguise, walk past someone. What do they see? A figure dressed like a fellow employee. Don't act odd. They won't focus on you.
Твій витвір у хороших руках, дякую.
Excellent. I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Добре, але спочатку я хочу... О, все, є напруга. Чудово. Це я вже в космосі, я так розумію, да? А, ну да. Прикольно. Да, класна гра. Fallout в космосі. Так, зараз ми в каюту свою зайдемо.
Is it time for your regular daily period of unconsciousness?
А де всі ці штуки, що я понатирював? А, це можна сюди складати. До речі. Можна щось і скласти. Те, що я не юзаю. Цю всю легендарочку. О, тут навіть з апгрейдами. Фіга собі. Ну тут нічого такого немає. Все.
Would you like a reminder on when your next shower is scheduled?
А, і для напарюх теж. Ага. Блін, як з каюти класно капітанської. Офігеть, блін. Круто зробили. Якась порожня в мене каюта, ніхіра немає. Меседж для Алекса Хоторна. Спектральну горілку. Ще не дочитав я Унікальна зброя. Бля, все ж таки цікаво, якби цей Хоторн не загинув, коли мене зустрічав, як би сюжет розвивався. От реально цікаво. Ладно, зрозуміло. Зброя бездни. Наукова зброя якась. Ні, ну реально пуста каюта, блін, якого хера, а? Треба, щоб щось тут з'явилось. О, це що за хрень? Сем. Що за Сем? Хто ти, воїн? Прибиральна машина. А ну-ка, пішли до Ади, спитаємо, що це за херня.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
Чи знаєш що-небудь про того автоматона, який прибирає бруд в приміщенні для прибиральника?
The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it, but I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate. Goodbye.
Добре, потім ще добалакаємо. Зараз я хочу ту штуку запустити. Не поняв. А що треба для цього?
Make yourself...
А, во, поиски терміна SAM. І що мені треба буде? Знов на планету виходити, щоб знайти. Та йо-моє, блін. Спитаю знову Вади.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? I'll be here.
Ніхера не зрозумів. А, це... О, блок з кислотою. Де його знайти? О, хрень якась. Так, а де ж той блок? А, на Роузвей. Це нова планета, далі що, походу, да, точно. Ясно. Все. На першу проходить треба. Новий корабель. Блін, херню взяв. Так. Що, давайте цей полутаємо трохи. Вже є напруга. А, блін, прикольно, мені подобається. Генератор. Гальюн.
Crew members who macrowave Saltuna are subject to be jettisoned from the airlock.
А, вот а. Шаблюка, блин, да, походу. Ай, нормальный лозунг. Це ж походу та, що я знайшов. Так, це вікарія, да? Блін. Це вікарій такий умняк. Строїть.
I could spend hours reflecting on the secret workings of the universe. Little else in this colony offers such a relaxing pastime. So, tell me what's on your mind. I excel at confessional listening.
Ладно, це потім. О, це той плакат, що я взяв. Блін, а де всі ті шмотки, а? А, во, у Парваті є, да? Це все і є. Її штуки. Це батя і що? Що, нормальна така каюта в неї? Мабуть, найгарніша з усіх. Так, Сем поки що буде стояти. Я нічого з ним не зроблю. А, все, да, нічого я більше не зроблю. Давайте очки розподілимо. По класичній схемі. Оце я хотів. Швидкість перезарядки тактичного уповільнення часу. То, що треба. Так, вікарій. Не буду його брати все одно. Ну що? Мабуть, все на сьогодні. Як мені подобається це кружечок крутиться, блін, в пушці. Все ми підготували для того, щоб летіти на іншу планету. Чи на корабель, куди там нас загонюють. Отже, добре, друзі. Наразі буду з вами прощатись. З вами, як завжди, був Торстейн. Дякую всім за перегляд. Не забувайте підписуватись на канал, коментувати, лайкати, тиснути дзвоник. І чекаю ваші перегляди у наступному відео. Всім всіх благ, всім мирного неба. Все буде Україна. Пока-пока.